President saying that a broken escalator, teleprompter failure, and audio issues were all sabotage. The UN saying a full investigation is already underway. Let's bring in Dustin Olson. He's a pollster for the American Pulse Research and Polling. Tyler O'Neill is a senior editor for the Daily Signal. Great to have you both here.
I want to share with this, Dustin, with you this. This is from the UN. Apparently, they've already done the investigation as to the escalator. They claim it was a videographer with the White House team may have inadvertently triggered the safety function. So that's why there was an issue on the escalator. Your thoughts on this whole UN saga?
I'm amazed that they have it so easily shut down. Someone can accidentally trip that. That's not that believable. But regardless, this is the inflow for the president coming into a security event, and that could happen, and someone could actually change his progress into an event. That's dangerous. But this is the UN for you, and it's a perfect metaphor. Everything breaking down there as an institution. It's been breaking down for quite some time. And one thing that's interesting, you see the UN, they write their strongly worded letters, and then Donald Trump is actually seeking peace around the world. And, you know, we look at polling, and in the recent Harvard-Harris poll, they actually have it that 66% of Americans support his efforts to end the war in Ukraine, and people who say they're satisfied with his negotiations, that's up by 5 points in the last 2 months. So he's definitely doing stuff that the American people care about and they want him to do, and it's definitely a change for the folks at the UN.
I've watched Trump at some of his rallies, and the prompter's right there, and oftentimes he goes off script, and then the prompter operator's like, oh, I don't know where he's at, but somehow he gets back on track. Clearly, he's good in situations like that where he's under pressure. But the View's Whoopi Goldberg suggesting it may be time to invoke the 25th Amendment against President Trump after his address to the United Nations General Assembly. That amendment allows for the transfer of power if the president is unable to perform his or her duties, if a president dies, resigns, or lacks the mental or physical capacity to serve in office. Take a listen to what Whoopi had to say. Watch.
He had an opportunity to do so much more than he offered them, and they don't consider him to be serious anymore. And I'm worried. What is the amendment, the 20?
It's actually the 25th Amendment.
Oh, 25th. I know
we
it was
were
wrong.
getting closer with every number. We were getting there. I didn't know what you meant. You meant when you start questioning someone's competence.
Well, they questioned Biden's competence. If Biden had acted like this, I would have said, yeah, take him and sit him down somewhere.
Yeah.
But this was not presidential, and this was not helpful.
Tyler, back to you. 25th Amendment. I mean, the fact that he was able to hold the audience there for it was an hour. He went on for an hour, and he went to all the different talking points that he wanted to get to. Your thoughts? I mean, is the 25th Amendment actually a serious situation here? Come on.
Biden didn't have the energy to do what Trump did at the UN. And I think the biggest story out of that is that Whoopi Goldberg wants to see J.D. Vance behind the Resolute desk. I mean, that is a shocker to me.
The line of succession would kick in, right? I think she's alone in that call, but we'll see. As we have heard, Republicans call for it years ago when President Biden was making moves. But speaking of the former president, he is recognized in a unique way at the White House. Maybe you saw this, gentlemen. The president unveiling his own sort of tribute, if you will, to past presidents. This is near the West Wing, black and white images. You see the most recent line of presidents here. And then there's someone missing, Dustin. Where is President Joe Biden? He cannot be seen. Instead, you see the so-called Autopen that President Trump takes so much issue with, that was apparently used during President Biden's time in office here. What do you think about it? Is this, sort of petty that we're seeing by the president? Is there something behind it?
Whether it's petty or not, it's hilarious, and this is the perfect kind of troll that this president does. You can't look away, and it actually brings up a really important issue. We've had, real questions what's happened over the last 4 years, and as you see some of these Biden advisors who are now testifying, some of them are actually kind of getting to the truth of what was going on, and this is a big scandal for the country. In our own polling, this was a moment in the last election when the curtain was pulled back. People saw that who the real Oz was, and that there was really no actual president, and people were shocked by that. And now we fast forward to today, and I think it's great that he's bringing this up and pointing it out that way, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, the fact that there's still the investigation is underway, but that he's not letting this go. He's not just saying, okay, well, let's move on from it. He's actually still trolling the previous administration.
Quick thoughts, Tyler? What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's brilliant. I also think he probably should have had Biden and then the Autopen and then himself, because Biden wasn't Autopenning throughout the entirety of his administration. But, it is a very powerful dig.
All right. How about that? It'd be interesting to see it in person, right?
Yeah.
Open up those White House tours, take a picture by the Autopen, I guess. And who knows what happens when the next administration moves in. You get to decorate the White House however you see pleased,
That's right.
for the most part. Dustin and Tyler, thanks so much for coming on this morning. Appreciate the conversation.
Great to be here.
Thanks for having me.